Ho ho ho! Hey cats, it's Father Budmus here, your midsole man, taking a closer look at some of the shoes that we've got to look forward to in 2025. 2024 is drawing to a close. For some reasons that's probably quite a good thing, but in fairness it's been a really good year for shoes. Is 2025 going to be as good? In today's video we're going to take a deep dive into some potential bangers for next year, some more fantastic forgiving foam fast cadence facilitators which we can expect to emerge over the next few months. Get your crystal balls out, it's shoe time. Thanks for tuning in, hope you're having a great festive sort of time. I'm off work now, I can just run and make shoe videos, and that's a good thing. If you haven't done so already, do help the channel out by hitting that subscribe button and also giving this video a thumbs up like. Drop us a comment to help the YouTube algorithm. Dankeschön. I got 4 shoes to look at today. They're brand new, brand spanking new. First up, a potential banger that's kind of released already in 2024, but it was only a limited release. Looks like we're set to get a proper release now. It's reaching more reviewers out there. That is the Endorphin Elite 2 from SAUCONY. In all fairness, this appears to be quite a big update really to the Endorphin Elite. I'm not entirely sure there's really that much that's similar to the first version of the shoe. Does appear to be a slightly more standard upper to this one, could be a bit more runner friendly than the very niche racer that we had in the first iteration. We've got the classic 8mm drop, because that does seem to be the classic drop for race shoes, yeah. Way more rubber though on the outsole, which is perhaps a good point really. I think it was a little bit weak on the first version. There was a lot of exposed midsole there and it got really mulched up very, very quickly. In all fairness, it did retain its midsole properties, but there was quite a bit of aesthetic degradation there. The upper is by far more traditional this time round, down the weight relieved mesh and clog look. Slightly more standard looking racer now, though I can't help but feel that I've seen that heel area somewhere before. There's DNA there of the Endorphin Pro 4 certainly in this shoe, but it does remind me of the Vomero models from a couple of years back with that flared elf-like heel, as well as the New Balance 1080 V10 from back before the lockdown. Do you remember those days? I do like the double lace loops as the final eyelets, so a runner's knot is on the cards, plus the fresh look on these is always nice. There's a DNA here for that Pro 4, where there was no specific major aesthetic link from the Endorphin Elite to like the 3 or the 4. Certainly high up on my to test for running enjoyment list. These are supposedly softer with that new SAUCONY foam. It's called Incredi-Run, and yeah, it's an interesting name. I think this shoe really just is totally different. They've completely ripped up the blueprint and started again. Though at $275, ooh, it's no joke for sure, that price. These are going to launch in March of 2025, so do keep your eyes peeled for a launch. Though in fairness, there's been sporadic reviews on these over the last 6 months since they did that limited launch. Perhaps not the best way to hype up a new shoe for the next year. Now up next is the total madness of the supposed Primex 3 from ADIDAS. It's always going to be an exciting model to try out. I've loved all the versions so far. The original, the Strung, and then the Strung 2. The original was probably the best running shoe ever. It was just incredible in terms of bounce and fun to run in. A taste of the future. Though the Primex 2 was still engaging, it didn't quite have the same reasonable weight of the first versions. Just felt a little bit muted by comparison. I did like the rolling action in that shoe, just wished there was a little less of it, I suppose. I hope the V3 goes back to what we had in the first version. By the looks of the plate elements here in the V3, I think it's going to be a little bit thinner there, the plate, judging by the bit that's sticking out the back of the heel and the bit you can see passing through the midsole here that sandwiches the special secret foam. I remember Adidas calling that like the energy core at some point. I'm wondering if it's the same foam that's in the Pro Evo 1. I'm not going to pay 450 quid there and find out, okay? Softer in nature, have more rebound to it in the Primex 2. Perhaps some of the softest foam we've ever seen, in fact, in a top-level running shoe. And if you believe some of the measurements that are out there on the internet for that energy core stuff, it's a Shore A11, which is, you know, it's barely there. To put that into perspective, some of the softer fuel cell foams from New Balance are about 18. So yeah, It's going to be really soft. Now, don't get me wrong, enjoyed the ride on the V2, but I want less weight, and I may even go a half size down on these. It looks to be a similar upper to the V2, and it was a little bit voluminous, a little bit too generous for me. So very keen to try that one, see if they've gone back to the magic of the original Primex in 2025. I got another Primex-like offering for you now from Mizuno. This is the Wave Rebellion Pro 3. Does seem to have launched over here in the UK, but there's very little fanfare on it at all. I'm sure it's a shoe that will build up a bit of momentum in 2025. There's a minty green and white version available, though in fairness, I think it's not the best bet for the UK winter. It is awful out there at the moment. You wear any sort of white shoe, it just gets trashed. You guys all saw my Evo SLs from ADIDAS in one run, totally trashed. We got a massive stack of foam here. Mizuno are kind of bending the rules a little bit, I suppose. I mean, is there just too much stack here for some people? Let's remember the V1 and 2 seem a hard sell for some of the, everyday runners due to perhaps perceived stability and also the height of the shoe. 225 grams for the sample size as well means that it's more in the Mac X2 or CeeLo X1 territory from Hoka, which puts it apart from some of the other super light super shoes. One plus point for Mizuno though, I think we have to consider here is the price. 209 quid's a little bit more attractive, I suppose. It's still an awful lot of money, let's not get away from that. I mean, you're close to a Vaporfly price, aren't you really? But at least Mizuno are like trying something new. It's something totally different here that no one else is doing. I do want to test out the outsole, which is quite striking in appearance with the mesh of rubber rather than that standard flat sticky stuff. Really do love a G3 outsole. It's reminiscent of some of those track trainers we've had in the past, and also the Reebok Run Fast Pro. Do you remember that shoe? That had a banging outsole. It was just very, very minimal in terms of stack. New Mizuno NZ XP foam here. XP, yeah, great OS. And well designed. Should I try these out? I guess Who Dares wins. Best colourway name as well, although I don't think it's the best colourway. Neo Mint, Black and Hint of Mint. That is very good. The stinging taste of mint. First person to comment where that special song lyric comes from gets a prize from Eddbud. I got one last one to look at. It's not actually confirmed that this is the name of the shoe, but I think this might be the Vomero Premium. Nike going for this like sort of standard premium and plus kind of vibe. I'm not sure it's going to make things any more clear in terms of their running lineup than it is already. You've got dual air units here in the midsole, a massive stack which appears to be ZMAX. There's a whopping 36mm of 4-foot stack here in this shoe, and it says there's a 6mm drop. So if we assume this is the sample size, that gives us about 42mm of heel stack. So for me, that's going to be like 46 maybe. It's normally about 3 or 4mm extra. So it could be getting towards a Primex beta, but you imagine a Primex is 50mm on the sample size, okay? There's a ton of 40+mm shoes out there from like Asics and SAUCONY already on the market. Why is it taking Nike so long to catch up with these trends that the other brands have been doing for a while now? Just perplexes me a little bit why they've been resting on their laurels. Placing those dual air units into the shoe is all very well, but it's going to add weight. They always do. And that bulkier upper and the rather plentiful traction patterns on the outsole just means it's going to be up here, you know. Also, where does this shoe leave the Pegasus Premium that's set to drop in 2025? That's got like a full length air zoom unit and loads of foam, very weighty shoe. It's not got many positive reviews from some of the more trustworthy and transparent reviewers so far. Like the Run Testers, for example, those guys really didn't seem to dig that shoe at all. Just found the mass a little bit too much. So Nike simplifying their running shoe lineup apparently in 2025, but it's already confusing me trying to look at it. Various shoes doing the same thing just doesn't add up. Need a bit more info on this one, I guess, but at the moment it seems like a bit of a dead end. Okay, that's 4 for 2025. I know there's loads more. I'll probably do another one of these videos in the next few weeks, taking a look at some other models that could be coming up there. Still being manufactured perhaps. If there's any in particular that you do want to check out or you want to voice your thoughts and opinions on these, please drop us a comment. Musical interlude time. I've got a real festive banger for you this time from Lindsay Buckingham. This one's called Holiday Road. Now you'll probably know this one from the National Lampoon's film. It's not actually in the Christmas film, it's in one of the earlier releases. It's an absolute winner though, really gets you into the holiday mood. Say you've stopped working for the holidays, you've got a bit of time off, you're eating after 8 dinner mints, you're perhaps going to have a Guinness Zero as well, just to really push the boat out. Get on Holiday Road by Lindsay Buckingham. It will set you on the right path. You'll be rolling forward into the festive spirit. Excellent like drum machine beats here and some wild guitar playing a little bit later on in the track, and it's super catchy, it's super quick as well, so even if your loved ones don't like it, they don't have to put up with it for very long. A festive winner, Lindsay Buckingham with Holiday Road. Thanks for tuning in, people. It is always appreciated. Just a little Christmas message from Eddbud here. Do remember that there's people out there that might not have anybody around at Christmas. Somebody might be on their own, they might be new to the area, they just might need somebody just to talk to or say hi or go for a drink with them or something. Take them some chocolates, you know, go and see them and just say hi. Might help, it might just bring a smile, it will just make them feel like they're part of everything, you know, so see what you can do, alright guys? Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like. Also drop us a comment as well to help the YouTube algorithm. My name's Eddbud and I'll be seeing you